Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I woke up late this morning. It's an early Sunday. Lazy Sunday. And I'm on Twitter. So scrolling through Twitter. And I see a moment of people in pure joy and elation. It is a magnificent thing. Unfortunately, what they were joyful about didn't actually exist. This is the saddest, comically saddest things that you would probably ever see today. The View gets a certain bit of information, and there are people on The View who express joy in a way that's so unabashed. It was an emancipatory experience. They're like, yes, yes, finally. Our illusions for these 12 months have been proven true. Our paradigm of the world that in the face of with no evidence we've taken on is true because we completely hated the other guy. What I'm talking about here is The View gets a bit of information. That bit of information is Michael Flynn will testify to a collection between Trump and Russia. They thought they had the smoking gun. We got Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn, the guy who said lock her up, is going to get out there and make the link. He's going to establish the link between Donald Trump and Russia. God damn it, we got him. We got him. This is the George Bush moment. We got him. Let's take a look at the video. It's fucking amazing to watch. And just to put a fine point on it, let's see. The news that they're talking about, boils down to a report that came out that because all of these guys were so animated at actually with the news, meaning the report itself is what they wanted to hear, they flipped out. This is just so we can see the report. This one.
My sinuses.
Let's shut that up first. I hate it when they cut on commercials. This is ABC News. Flynn prepared to testify that Trump directed him to contact Russia about ISIS, confidant says. That's fake news. That's fake news. It's literally fake news. The reason why I know it's fake news is because, let's see, let me go back to that. I had my screen up and now my screen went down and my world is shattered. The reason why I know this is fake news is because, if I can find it, damn it. My screen went down. I'm missing my screen. Hold on. ABC News came out and essentially said, our bad. We fucked up. It was fake news. We said that there was a link between these two things, and there was no link between these two things. The thing is, they did that on Facebook. Like, here we go. Come on. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I had this up. At least I thought I had it up. All right. ABC News. This is ABC News' account. This is ABC News' page. This is ABC News. Correction. During a live special report, ABC News reported that a confidant of Lieutenant General Michael Flynn said Flynn was prepared to testify that then Donald Trump instructed him to contact Russian officials during the campaign. That source later clarified that during the campaign, Trump assigned Flynn and a small circle of other senior advisors to find ways to repair relations with Russia and other hotspots. It was shortly after the election that President-elect Trump directed Flynn to contact Russian officials on the topics that included working jointly against ISIS. What Donald Trump asked Flynn to do was to create and repair the relationship with Russia in addition to going out and fighting ISIS. That's truth. That's the reality. That's what actually took place. That's what actually took place. The news that these guys are going to go with is fake news. Essentially, they're going to come out and say, we got him. And look at the audience, and look at Joy Anne Reid, and look at the people on The View. It is an amazing thing to behold.
Ross is reporting Michael Flynn promised full cooperation to the Mueller team and is prepared to testify. Welcome back to the show.
Breaking news.
Oh, my God. Oh, breaking news. ABC News' Brian Ross is reporting Michael Flynn promised full cooperation to the Mueller team and is prepared to testify that as a candidate, Donald Trump directed him to make contact with the Russians. Yeah!
They're so happy. They're so happy. She's like, yes! Yes! The President of the United States is going to be impeached. Yes, this is a joyous moment. This is a joyous moment. Now we can get Pence in that office. Now we can get Pence in that office. Is that what Joy Anne Reid wants? She's like, I'm so ecstatic that the President of the United States would get taken down because he worked with Russia. Yes. She was so happy. She was so happy. This is like an emancipatory moment for Joy Anne Reid. I mean, it is the greatest day of her life. All of the things that she wanted to take place in that very moment took place in that moment. There's a story for Superman where they put this little thing on Superman, and Superman is in his head. Superman doesn't realize he's in his head. Meaning he doesn't realize he's in his false reality, but it's everything that Superman has ever wanted. He's like, I have a wife, I have a kid, I don't have the responsibilities of Earth on me. Oh, this is the greatest day of my life. There's a Rick and Morty episode where Jury is in part of this simulation, and all of these odd things take place in the simulation, but it is the greatest day of his life. And he's like, this is the greatest day of my life. This is the greatest day of my life. This is everything I ever wanted. Oh, you mean it's not real? It's fake news? Yes, it's fake news. It's fake news. That joyous moment that they just had for fake news. For fake news. Yeah, for fake news. It's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. It's not, look, anybody is susceptible to not necessarily getting a story right. It's how gleeful and joyous. I mean, man, like I've seen when Hillary Clinton did that, and they said Hillary Clinton they sodomized Gaddafi with a machete, and a lot of people are being murdered. Yes, yes, we got him, we got him. We came, we saw, and he died. He died. Well, at the very least, that was real. I mean, granted, it was gross that you're gonna be ecstatic over somebody getting a machete subbed in his ass. But in this case, they were giving completely fake news. ABC News didn't take the time to make sure that what they were reporting was accurate. They heard Trump, Flynn testimony, and they were like, oh, we got him, we got him, we got him. And then you tap him on the shoulder, it's like, no, that's not what I said. I said that he worked with Russia. He worked with Russia because he wanted to combat ISIS. And he worked with Russia because he wanted to lower this idea of tensions between another foreign government. It's sad. It's epically sad when a president, as gross as that president is, at the very least in this one capacity, wants to have some kind of deal or some kind of peaceful relations with another nuclear power. And one of the other parties, for the sake of politics, makes the decision that it is more important to tar the association with a foreign power than it is to actually deal with the issues at home when combating the president. They will completely put us in line of this kind of conflict of sorts, purely because they don't want to own up to the fact that they failed miserably to a reality show host. I understand it burns. I understand it's embarrassing. I read the thing for Shattered yesterday where they came up with this dumbass idea to tar Trump with Russia because Trump decided he wanted to have peaceful relations with Russia. What they've revealed was that the President of the United States wanted to work with Russia. For the country's sake, by the way, not for his own. That's what they revealed. Somebody made the point this is a Rachel Maddow moment for The View. Well, Rachel Maddow is like, we got his tax returns. We got his tax returns. And she takes 20 minutes to get to the point that Donald Trump paid his taxes for that specific year that she released. Fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I want to see that again. Hold on. I want to see that again because that was awesome. That was awesome.
Is reporting Michael Flynn promised full cooperation to the Mueller team and is prepared to testify that as
She gasped. She gasped. She gasped. She's like, that she prepared full cooperation to the Mueller team. Oh my God. And they found the link. They found the missing link. I love this. I love this. Let's keep going. Let's go back. Let's go back.
and is prepared.
Breaking news.
Oh my God.
Oh my
breaking news.
God.
ABC News' Brian Ross is reporting Michael Flynn promised full cooperation to the Mueller team.
You saw the gasp. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And is prepared to testify that as a candidate, Donald Trump directed him to make contact with the Russians. Yeah.
I love the woman pointing. I don't know who that woman is. She's like, yes, yes. We're going to go through a long proceeding where we're going to impeach our president. How excited. How excited. This is a great day. This is a great day. We get to impeach a president of the United States. That's awesome. Look, I don't like Donald Trump at all. I don't like Donald Trump. These guys have put forth a narrative purely for political reasons. The Democrats did. They put it forth for purely for political reasons. Hillary Clinton didn't want to own up that she also reality shows. She didn't want to admit that the guy who beat her could have been beaten by a ham sandwich. That's not what she wanted to admit. So instead of not wanting to admit that, all of these people are calling Hillary Clinton 1,000 people. I'm sorry you lost a reality show host. Think of it. 1,000 conversations with, I'm sorry you lost a reality show host. I'm sorry you lost the guy who could have been beaten by a ham sandwich. I'm sorry you lost to the grab him by the pussy guy. All variations of that conversation starting with, I am sorry you failed. I'm sorry you lost. It is immensely embarrassing. How did you lose to reality shows? There was a video where this particular guy was trying to grab somebody by the pussy. This particular guy is also a sexual predator like your husband. I'm sorry you lost to that guy. All of these things. All of these things for 24 hours. And the deal that they came up with was, it wasn't me. I didn't lose on my own merits. It was Trump. Well, of course it was Trump, but it was Comey. It was Bernie fucking Sanders. And it was Russia. And it was Russia. All the Democrats, all these hillbots, all of these people who had all of these illusions of the world, who were told for the past year that Hillary Clinton is fucking inevitable. Hillary Clinton is going to win in a landslide. There is no chance for Donald Trump to win. And what do you know? Hillary Clinton was not inevitable by any means. This perceptual inevitability thing purely depended on people actually voting for Hillary Clinton. They didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in that way. She got a stuffing beat out of her. 3 million more votes. Yes. All in California. All in one state. She got the stuffing beat out of her. She has no claim to this at all. This wasn't even close, if we're being honest about it. She lost. She got the stuffing beat out of her. Like, this blows me away. And because they dislike Donald Trump, all of these Hillbots, all of these people who wanted Hillary Clinton to win, who worshiped the Democratic Party, and when she lost, how could she lose? How could she lose? She was supposed to be inevitable. How could somebody that's inevitable lose an election? Is our paradigm wrong? Is our understanding of the world wrong? No, it's not. It's not. Fucking Russia. It was fucking Vladimir Putin. He spent $150,000 on Facebook ads, many of those ads appearing after the election. But retroactively, somehow that swayed the election. $150,000 on Facebook ads. Yes, Hillary Clinton had $1 billion campaign, but those Russians, they're fucking crafty at Facebook ads. They're crafty at that stuff. These guys so fervently needed to believe it that when it finally came out, I think I wet myself a little bit, but we found the link. We found the link. You found no link. What you found was a president that was trying to work with somebody who this other party was saying are enemies. That's what you found. Congratulations. You guys are embarrassing. I understand that you want him out that office. Fair enough. I myself did not want him in that office either. I am more terrified of Pence, if I'm being honest. But no, I don't want Trump in that office either. But come on. Come on. There's something gross about it. I'm sorry. I understand the gleefulness, all of this other stuff. I can't necessarily put my finger on what's gross about it. I think it's because it's this thing of, we love this idea of getting an American president out that office. And we did not have anything, any smoking gun. This is evidence. They didn't have a smoking gun. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been that elated over the prospect. When Donna Brazile came out about the whole cheating thing, progressives were like, yes, finally. But we weren't that way because, oh my God, they found the smoking gun. The smoking gun had already been there. Everybody had already knew that they cheated. Everybody understood fully that the DNC cheated Sanders. In this case, they don't have that smoking gun. They made a link between Trump and Russia out of whole cloth. And they were looking for anything that they could hang their hats onto. Standing on this particular ledge for the past 12 months, and they still don't have squat to tie Trump to Russia. This is embarrassing. I'm sorry. We've been saying all along that the link didn't exist. That they've been making this shit up. That they wanted purely to obfuscate for failings of the DNC and failings of the Democratic Party as a whole over the past 20 years. Sticking a knife in the edifices that prop up the actual Democratic Party, meaning attacking labor and attacking the 99% in regards to the legislation that these guys have been passing. It's right-wing fucking policies. You failed on your own merits. You failed on your own merits. There's no link between Trump and Russia in this way. I don't think there is, but at the very least, you haven't demonstrated one. This is embarrassing. This is fake news. This is fake news. This is fake news. When Donald Trump keeps screaming about fake news, well, you guys are proving it true. Let's say it that way. I'm never going to get my cleaning done now. So glad you have this platform from all time. It's Lisa Hauserman. Thank you, Lisa. I'm not going to be on here all that long, but I saw this and thought to myself, what the hell? Look, I always deride Donald Trump as a reality shows. I don't like the guy. I think he's a fucking horrible person. And this idea of the budget, this idea of Trump care, all these things. These are political things that Donald Trump wants accomplished purely for Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about what happens in the larger society. If the legislation that these guys are putting forth doesn't get that across to you, nothing will. You're a fucking useful idiot. These guys are functioning on their own thing. Trump wants electoral victories. That's it. He doesn't care the wider impact. So if 20-some million people have to get thrown off the haircut rows for his own ego, Trump is okay with that. Trump would say that is a win. Trump would say, I did better things in healthcare, because what he says usually has no connection with reality. So, yeah, I don't like Trump. My feelings about Trump are pretty clear. That being said, my job in this is less to do with how I feel about Trump, and more so in just kind of nailing down what is more real, what's more reality. Well, this is unreality. This is unreality. And that's unreality motivated by a lie that they put forth that they're trying to cover. It's like, there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and you're torturing people in order to try to create a link that doesn't actually exist. They are trying to create a link that doesn't exist based on the lie that they put forth. This is them, after 12 months, finally saying, oh my God, we finally found something. The fake news conspiracy theory that we've been putting forth for all these 12 months that we don't have any evidence for to back up, we finally found something to tie it together. We knew if we wished and prayed hard enough that we'll find some evidence. Great job. Kashwami Kate, good morning from an island up in the Salish Sea. Kate, you are immensely fortunate. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I would love to be on some island somewhere. Miss America, ABC got it wrong. It was Obama. We have him on TV on a hot mic side. ABC News, NBC News, CNN, and all CIA. Well, whether they're CIA or not, all of them are fake news. This was a fake news story. This is a fake news story. Let's see. Kashwami Kate. I would have to catch them all later. I need to get some outdoor exercise. Get some outdoor exercise, Kim. That's a better alternative than just listening to me ramble on. Bullshit, man. I don't know the truth, but it's fairly obvious there were dodgy votes in some states. California being one of the main ones because each state looks after the vote is entirely plausible. Yeah, no. Yeah, Donald Trump made that shit up about 3 million votes. Bullshit, man. I'm sorry. I understand that you want to give him some legitimacy. The guy's a fucking liar. California is a massive state. You don't live here, so maybe you don't know this. California is a massive state. And being a massive state, the majority of those people in California are immensely lib. You have plenty of Green Party voters and everything else in California. I am not shocked by the 3 million votes number. Not in the least. California was going to go to Hillary Clinton regardless of the situation. So yeah, I'm not shocked by that number. Donald Trump is making shit up because he feels ridiculous. Jamal is serving up a nothing burger video versus I was hungry. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Miss America, because the white hats were ready for them this time, check out the news, illegal votes. Yeah, I don't believe there were illegal votes in selection in sense of California or anything else. Trump makes shit up. It's like saying, do you believe that Donald Trump had the largest crowd in the history of crowds in the front lawn? No, of course not. Of course not. You're giving a liar some level of legitimacy. Come on. California is a huge legal voting state. It is. Wow, I can't believe the naivety or something. California is a huge legal voting state. Yeah. It sounds like you guys have a particular point of view that you guys want to live out. So you guys go, yeah. You guys have to prove it. California didn't count Bernie's primary votes. Now that part is true. I know it sounds like I'm saying two things. If you're talking about a general election, California is a massive fucking state. Am I really going to believe Donald Trump coming out saying, I lost by 3 million votes, there should have been more votes? What Donald Trump should have said was, all of those votes are in California. That's what he should have said. All those extra votes belong to one state. Because at the very least, you can minimize the fact that all those things came from, essentially minimize the 3 million vote thing. It kills it. If all those votes came from one state, it means the overwhelming majority of the population in the country voted for Donald Trump. Now, you can say that they edged off votes in some states. That's true. You can say they had Operation Crosscheck. They got rid of some votes in some states. That is also true. That's also true. The problem with that line of logic is Democrats monkeyed around with the voting thing during the primaries. They did the same fucking thing when it was up to trying to win the election. So I don't want to hear this shit about Operation Crosscheck and everything else. The Democrats did the exact same thing in the primaries. You can't bitch about something in the general that you yourself did in the primaries. Can't bitch. No, we didn't have Operation Crosscheck, but they were using other methods in order to get rid of some votes in some of these places and to make it difficult, if not impossible, for people who want to support Sanders and actually vote for Bernie Sanders. They monkeyed around with the process in the primaries. Don't complain to me about them monkeying around with the process in the general. Fair enough, Jamal. That's why I said I didn't know the truth, and I'm with you on Hillary kicking ass in California. Totally expect. Yeah, that's my point. Look, you don't have to say I don't know who gives Donald Trump information. I don't know who whispers in Donald Trump's ear, but he does things that are purely counterproductive from a politics standpoint. Saying that 3 million votes voted illegally, that's fucking ridiculous, and nobody's going to believe that. You have a history of lying, and ultimately saying that I have the largest crowds in the history of crowds, yeah, that means you're a liar. That means you're a liar. That means you're untethered to reality. Now, if you're going to come out and say there were 3 million illegal votes and you have nothing to back up the idea that there were 3 million illegal votes, it looks like you're sore that you lost the popular vote, and you're embarrassed that you lost the popular vote, and you wanted to create some reason to get across that, hey, I'm legitimate. The way you attack that is not by making shit up saying 3 million votes. The way you attack that is by saying all those votes were in one state. The rest of the country voted for me. California, this liberal stronghold, etc., etc., etc. Whatever pejorative you want to use as a Republican to attack it in that way, that's the way you attack that conversation. You don't make shit up. Making shit up loses the argument for you. You're going to have a large part of the population as, oh, that's Donald Trump making shit up again. You may have a 30% that actually believes you. That 30% is going to be marginalized as conspiracy theories. You're making your own people more in a difficult position. The argument that you want to make is, that's just California. That's just California. The rest of the country was with me. That's just California. Just saying, that's my advice. I think it's a horrible idea to go with this idea of making shit up in this way. Making shit up. What's the point of making shit up? Red Pill Revival. Arguing vote totals is ridiculous as most yards gained in the NFL game. Yeah, right. Because the point is not vote totals. Yeah, agreed. Miss America, Jamal, Trump has proof. Trump doesn't have squat. Okay, now you lost me. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Miss America. Have a good life. Marla79, so much for the Democratic primary was shady. Hillary should shut the fuck up. Yeah, Hillary should shut the fuck up. J. Scott, Jamal is pro-Trump, Miss America. Jamal is not pro-Trump. Jose Casquillo, pro-honesty. Yes, pro-honesty. Yeah, Jamal is not pro-Trump. He's just against bullshit. Thank you, bullshit man. Yes, exactly. Lisa Hauserman, the 3 million illegal votes would mean 3 million would be in federal prison. I've heard nothing about massive arrests of 3 million illegal voters. Yeah, that is a little weird, right? If you were going to say there are 3 million illegal voters and I can prove it, okay, show it, prove it. They weren't illegal votes. These people were just in California. Sorry, Jamal, you're completely wrong about illegal alien voting. I never said illegal aliens were voting. Oh, you believe it, Bob. You believe it. Explain to me, Bob. So Bob is on the side that illegal aliens voted. Okay, show me, Bob. Cowdy Bongwater. Miss America Bill's like a good little soldier. But, yeah, that's sad. That's sad. I love it. I love it. It's like, oh, you're talking bad about Donald Trump. I just wanted to be here to hear you talk bad about The View. I'm leaving now. That's funny. That's awesome. Jamal, election fraud, not voter fraud. Trump is using voter fraud as a wedge issue, and it's easy to see why, so I won't explain that to you. Yeah, of course he is. Sucks. Yeah, I know. When Trump came out saying he wants all the voter information and everything else, I know. I'm just saying you get more bang for your buck. You're going to make yourself look absolutely absurd. Like, I understand that Trump wants to use that as a wedge issue. Republicans have been trying to use that as a wedge issue for God knows how long. The president shouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. That this is one of those things that his soldiers and minions need to be out there doing. You have Republicans in all of these different states. Why does the president need to take this on for himself? Make it California a pejorative in this case. And look, I don't mean to get... To me, this comes down to a certain amount of politics. That's why I'm talking about it in this way. I'm just saying, if I was on that side of the fence and I was having that argument, I would in no way try to fight an uphill battle like that. Make yourself look ridiculous. Your Republican senators, not senators, your Republican governors and legislatures, those are going to be the ones that are going to try to control the voting thing. Why are you as a president trying to spearhead an obvious, voter fraud issue? Yeah, I understand it's this thing of trying to, look, Republicans, as a general policy, try to cut down on the number of people who vote. They do that because the less number of people vote, the more likely they are to get elected. This goes back for a while. Weigel. There's a political hatchet man back in the 80s who was making this argument that Republicans don't want people to vote. Republicans want as little or few people to vote as possible. Their chances in the electoral process go up as the number of people who vote go down. The reason why many of these Republican governors or Republican states put through voter suppression policy is for a specific reason. Donald Trump, after Republicans have taken so much of the legislatures all throughout the United States, it's counterproductive. for Donald Trump to do that from the presidency. It is more likely, and particularly in the shadows, for these guys to do it at the state level. I'm saying it's a fucking horrible policy. Now, as Democrats, in no way should you allow them to fuck over the legislature like that, but you've lost and you've failed so much that your powers to do anything about it amounts to just squawking and bitching about it. Trump shouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Good gourd. Heel bots galore in here today. Yeah. Come on. It was uncovered in state after lookup. What are you talking about, Bob? You mean California for primaries or California for the election itself? I need to see the evidence. Give me the send a link, Bob. Send a link. I'll take a look at it. The fix was in for Hillary. Trump won by such a huge margin that all the cheating, Hillary couldn't overcome the huge lead that Trump had. In the other states, maybe, yes. Not in California. I'm sorry, not in California. I have no belief that I gotta be honest, I have no belief that California was gonna go for Hillary regardless, and it was gonna go for Hillary in overwhelming numbers. Yeah, it's a massive fucking state. I don't believe that there were 3 million extra votes. Come on. It was uncovered in state after state. Look it up. Give me the link. Give me the link, Bob. Give me the link. I need the link. DHS controlled the voting apparatus. That is a fact. There's your illegal votes. Good gourd. Hillary bots galore here today. It's not a Hill bot thing. Look, from a Hillary standpoint, yes, they don't like this idea. From my standpoint, I just want to see the link. I just want to see the information. Give me the evidence. Wow, Bob, name calling because you can't prove your argument. Kicking with your dog. He's not name calling. Well, slightly, but come on. Bob Ramirez said, nobody's trying to convince you. I just want to see the link. I'm not. Bob, you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying you have an axe to grind. I'm not saying any of that stuff. This is just me saying, provide me the link. I just want to see the link. I want to be able to research it myself. I can't do that while I'm actually doing the video. That's what I mean. There's nothing else on it. There's no other perspectives or any subtext. There's nothing else there. I just want to see the information. Send me the link. Bob Ramirez said, this is turning into The View. This is not turning into The View, Bob. How dare you, sir? Bullshit man. Hey, Jamal, how reliable do you think voting is? If there's a whole, anyway, I don't think it's reliable at all. Any chance in hell voting could be returned to paper vote only? Voting in this country is abysmal. I'm always shocked and enamored that other countries use the United States to look at their country to see if their country is doing right. Why? Why are you depending on a rogue state that has a voting apparatus that is horrible? That's horrible. Understand what I mean? You go in, you make your vote. You have no idea where that vote is going towards. You have no idea whether that machine has been updated in a way that gives a heightened or increased voting total to one particular side or the other. You have no idea. It's a black box. It is a complete black box. No paper tally in many of these things. Some of these voting machines are machines that they outlawed in Europe. If you're asking me if our voting apparatus is intact, I would tell you our voting apparatus is not intact. And what you would find is when they do recounts and stuff like that, they would recount part of the vote and they would change the vote total in order to match the machine total. It's fucking amazing. So, no, our voting system is not intact. And one of the things I keep bringing up with this idea of corruption is also attacking the voting apparatus. Going after it, balls out. You can't trust it. And until you can trust the voting system. And look, this is left and right. This is the left and the right. This is not one of these sides things. This is one of those, if somebody is going to say there were 3 million additional votes, I don't believe you, but I do agree with you that the voting system needs to be changed. I agree with you on that point. The integrity of the system itself needs to be intact. And if you have large segments of the population that look at this thing and say, this doesn't look right. Then you need to have a more transparent process. That is immensely problematic when the society itself looks at the voting and said, this doesn't look right. We think this is bogus. Yeah, bullshit, man. That's problematic, man. I don't think we have an integrity-filled voting system at all. Whether or not it goes back to paper ballots depends on how pissed off people get. If you can get enough people who say, I don't believe this voting thing, this is a threat to representative government, by the way, whether they realize it. I mean, in the primaries, you have one candidate that just says, I'm going to take over the entirety of the voting system or the entirety of the democratic apparatus in that primary. I'm going to control the entire primary. Now, whether voting was okay or not, ultimately, they've rigged that process. They rigged that process. When you go to the general election, Operation Crosscheck and some of these other methods that Republicans use to get rid of people voting, a lot of those things are adversely affecting the voting process. This is the only country that I know of where the parties actively tried to stop people from voting. It's fucking amazing. People will be the determining factor whether it goes back to paper ballots. If you get enough who says this shit is rigged or we don't necessarily trust the system, maybe. How much pressure do people put on the political system in order to get that to change? These progressive groups that are springing up, these people parties and stuff like that, that needs to be part of their platform. It's not going to be part of the other two parties. It needs to be part of theirs. Doing that would have one or two effects. Either the public itself will say, we want to go with these guys who actually want the voting system to be true, or the other two parties ape that particular issue, meaning they subsume it in a way. So you get that argument into the political debate either by threatening the other parties or by the parties themselves getting into debate in order to head off the other parties. My reasoning for going to this thing of saying no is in part because of that. Nothing changes if you're willing to be complicit in what takes place. Nothing at all. If the Democrats know, they'll vote for us regardless because we're not the Republicans. Democrats don't have to do anything extra. We're not them. They're saying it. We're not them. We're not them. Hoping that you don't necessarily evaluate the quantity that you're dealing with because ultimately you're voting for Democrats because they're not the crazy guys. I don't know if it goes back to paper ballots. I don't know. There's systems that you can use to try to verify the vote that will make it a little bit more difficult for people to mess around and monkey with the votes, and it will make it a little bit more transparent. Yes, they should. They should. They totally should. What was the motivation for electronic voting in the first place? Just someone want to make cash out of it? Yes. Or speed results? Both. It's both. And you must understand, in America is a capitalistic country. It's the capitalistic country. The social ills and stuff associated with somebody making a buck don't count. It doesn't count. So yeah, you're going to put a voting machine in because maybe they look at it as it's faster. And yeah, somebody's going to make a buck off of it. Asking the question of, wait a minute, how do we ensure that the voting process is accurate, was a secondary thought and consideration. I hate that, but yeah, secondary consideration. D. Scully, right-wingers are authoritarians. Yes, they are. Don't expect right-wingers to support a free and democratic state. They don't. They're in opposition to democracy, even when the Democratic Party. I agree with you to a point. I do agree with you to a point. I'm not talking about these full-on batshit crazy right-wingers that support Trump and everything Trump does, even when Trump is fucking them over. Anytime I talk about this, assume that I am not talking about them. Assume I'm not talking about the racists. I'm not talking about the batshit crazy wing of the Republican Party, and at this point, a lot of those people are batshit crazy. I'm talking about the sliver or the slice of the party itself that float both ways, where you have people who would vote for Obama in one election and vote for Trump in the next election. I'm talking about those people. Those people aren't necessarily these hardcore right-wingers. That's a segment of the population, let's say 10, 15%, that will listen. That's the 10, 15 that will listen. But yeah, I agree with you. The right-wingers in general are crazy on this point. The authoritarians, I agree. D. Scully, I agree. Kicking it with my dog, yes, Chris Bailey. Lisa Hauserman, if voting makes any difference, they wouldn't allow you to do it. Mark Twain allegedly said this, and I agree. I agree up until the point where people change their minds and actually become a little bit more aggressive with regards to their government. Yeah. Brian Tan, since there's electronic voting and it can be tampered with, then Trump actually didn't win. Yeah, I don't know about that one. When we go to Bernie, look, I would I would agree with you in the sense of you saying, well, they cheated in certain states and they didn't necessarily get enough votes in those states. I would agree with that point. Like if you're saying, you know, there was like a 10,000 vote difference in Wisconsin, but 100,000 people didn't get the opportunity to vote, and those people would have likely voted for Clinton. Okay, there's an argument there. Fair enough, there's an argument there, because you can nip away at those states where Trump won, but he won by these thin margins. And you look at the number of people who are not allowed to vote and everything else. That's a fair argument. That's a fair argument. The problem with that is Democrats monkeyed around with the primaries. It's like, how can you make an argument for cheating in one when you did the cheating in the other? It's like, you got your own argument. They got their arguments. You live YouTube anyhow. Anyhow. What? I don't know what that means. Live YouTube. Oh, yeah, live YouTube. Yes. Coyote Bungwater. Catalonia was and remains a nightmare clusterfuck. Catalonia is a nightmare clusterfuck. Yes. Yes, it is. That's going to be amazing to watch. Brian Tan. I'm just using a dumb Trump TARS logic. Yeah. It makes no sense. The person who logged in and then left because it was like, you're bashing Donald Trump. I thought you were just going to bash Democrats in the view. I'm leaving. Those people are just as bad as Hillary Clinton supporters. They are. You may even make a case to say they might be worse, but they're just as bad as Hillary Clinton supporters. See no evil, hear no evil. Lou Sass. Brian Tan, I can say the same about you, about your Jamal. What? Just because he said it makes it true, then true, get the fuck out of here. Same progressive doesn't talk out of her ass. She does extensive research. Here we go. Brian Tan, I can say the same about your Jamal. Just because he said it makes it true. Get the fuck out of here. Same progressive doesn't talk out of her ass. She does extensive research. I don't think same progressive talks out of her ass. I think she does research. Yeah, I think she does research. I like same progressive. Anything that I'm saying here, you can. It's true. I usually put the links down to the stuff that I say. Yeah. There's nothing to be said about that one. Anything that is to say, you can look up the links for it, or the links will be at the bottom of the video. Yeah, don't just talk on my ass. Let's see. D. Scully. I disagree. In the end, right-wingers do not support egalitarian policies that make democracy possible. Obama was and is conservative, agreed. So you can't use him as an example of them going left. I don't know if I'm part of this conversation. I think you guys are having a conversation I'm not having. What did Brian Tan say? I'm just using dumb Trump tart logic. What? You guys have lost me on this. I'm trying to figure out what loose ass is responding to. I see Brian's comment. If the United States didn't have California, we would be fucked. Agreed on that one. I do agree on that. Yeah, I agree on that one. Yeah. What I would say is, loose ass. What I would say is if I say something wrong, denote what I said was wrong. And bring us all back to the reality that you yourself believe in. Yes, Thomas Sirman and who controls the media. Let's see. Sagernaut. 2020 entropy, faith and governance, media, science has been destroyed. Yes, agreed. No one will believe the voting results left or right. Doesn't matter who wins. Oh, Augur, I love you on this. Yeah, you're right. I mean, think about what it was like in the 60s. Like, think about it. Let's even say the 50s, 40s, and all this other stuff. There was a belief the government could get things done. There was a belief in government. You know, if the government came out and said something, people believe what the government said. Right-wingers have been attacking this notion of truth and any sense of common perspective for the past 40, 50 years. And to some degree, the failures of the Democrats have allowed the right to kind of make that argument stick with the public. Not to mention you get Fox News, and Fox News essentially creates its own narrative. So people who are tuning in essentially said, this is the narrative of the world that I want to look at. Fuck reality. Fuck reality. Yeah, they've attacked that stuff. That stuff has been destroyed to some degree. Yeah, the left and the right are very suspicious of voting. Both, I agree. I absolutely agree. Kara G, really enjoying this. You got a great perspective. Oh, thank you, Kara G. Thank you, Carla G. Lusas, there is no left and right. There is only one party in the United States. Lusas, if you're talking specifically about the parties, I agree. I agree. If you're just talking about people of a certain latitude, no. I mean, independents are further to the left. Of course, lefties are further to the left. And yeah, the parties, for the most part, are the same thing. They're two wings of the same thing. There's like a slight difference, but their worldview is the same. They play on the same playing field. So yeah, I agree. Yeah, Lou, I agree. Calculated bong water. I still can't believe, yes I can, that some states' governments destroyed and ignored votes. And there was no uproar from the public. Our nation sleeps as a federal parasite drinks deeply. I love the hyperbolic imagery. I love it. And yeah, you're right. That always shocks me. When Susan Sarandon says, maybe this will bring about the revolution, and all these hillbots were like, oh, how dare you! How dare you! There is a special place in hell for a woman that doesn't vote for Hillary Clinton. And then Hillary Clinton was like, I just haven't got to the point where I can forgive them yet. Forgive who? Forgive who for what? Forgive for what? You mean because people didn't vote for you? Yeah, you can go fuck yourself. You're not owed those votes. You're not owed anybody's votes. It's fucking amazing. The thing that they say. 75 watching, that's a record for a live stream of yours. No, man, I've gotten up to 90 and 100. I've gotten up to 100. I've grown since last you've been here, sir. I've grown. The funny part is, it's over the view. Like, it's not even a hyperbolic thing. It's just a view. So, that makes me feel pretty good. Yeah, it's growing. Jamal, do a show about post-American empire. You mean the place that we're living now? I enjoy Jamal's perspective, so I'm glad I found this channel a couple months ago. Oh, thank you, Winkle. I just found your channel a few days ago when you noted about the thing. Yeah, Debbie don't do anything on YouTube anymore. Everything is on Facebook Live now, and she's going to be moving off that platform also because YouTube sucks and is censoring everything else she does. Loose ass, yes, you're right. Loose ass is right. Loose ass, he took a chunk out of me earlier in saying that Jamal may be talking out of his ass. I would say loose ass needs to put down where I'm wrong. Look, I don't have an issue admitting when I'm wrong on this stuff. So if I said something wrong, tell me. Up to that point, though, I don't think I've said anything wrong. As for Sane Progressive, yeah, Sane Progressive is fucking awesome. Sane Progressive, even when I disagree with Sane Progressive, Debbie is fucking awesome. I love her to death. Yeah, she's moving off of YouTube. They're censoring her content. And so she's been doing a lot of Facebook stuff. If I am not mistaken, she's moving to a platform called BitChute. I could be wrong. But that's the last I saw. Yeah, she does a lot of stuff on Facebook. I did a video on one of hers the other day where she was on fire. She was on fire. It's like my computer melted a little bit watching that video. She's fucking amazing. Yeah, even when I don't agree with her, man. Like, it's one of those things where she would say something, like, yeah, I don't agree with that one. And of course, I don't necessarily agree with her when she's bashing Sanders. At least not fully. I agree with some of it. I agree with half of it. But you guys have heard me back up Sanders on some of this stuff. I think a lot of people... Yeah, fuck it. I think a lot of people behave like a woman scorned. And I'm saying that purely for as this kind of public literary thing. I don't care about the SJW stuff. So I'm going to say what I want to say on this. Yeah, I think they act like a woman scorned. And I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about even a lot of people on my channel. And it's hurt feelings. It's bitterness and hurt feelings. I appreciate the conversations of allowing people to cry on my shoulder on this. Oh, that bastard. I know he was a bastard. But you may need to go back home. You may need to go back home. It's like the pastor having a conversation with the married couple and is like, I understand. He did bad things. He hung out too late. He was talking to the wrong sorts. I know you think he cheated with that woman. But is there another side to this? Is it possible that what you thought was cheating with the woman, he just helped the woman home and that was the smell of perfume on him or something? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's... Look, the operative question. Brass tacks, operative question. When you take all of her feelings away, when you take all the, oh, he should have did this, he should have did that, when you take all of that away, Bernie Sanders get past the primaries. Is Debbie, the same progressive, going to vote for Bernie Sanders if it's a combination between Bernie Sanders and Trump? That's brass tacks. All the anger and fury and everything else boils down to, will you vote for X over Y? Now, for that with Hillary Clinton, I could say, yes, I am voting for Jill Stein. I am happy to make that vote for Jill Stein. I am proud to vote for Jill Stein. 2020. What's going to take place? What's going to take place? That's what it means, man. That's what it all means. BB Hammer, I love how Jamal often says he's going to do a very short live stream and turn this into a 90-minute chat. I know. Bernie did not do the correct thing by endorsing Hillary Clinton. Are you out of your fucking mind? I don't think he did the correct thing by endorsing Hillary Clinton. No, I don't think he did the right thing. I don't think he did the right thing at all. You would never find any video anywhere of me, even in my early moments by myself at 3 a.m. when I said Bernie Sanders did the right thing by endorsing Hillary Clinton. I thought it was a fucking horrible idea. DC 420 live. What's up, Reefer Revolutionaries? When D's are 20% of the voter and 20% of Republicans, the 60% will have shattered the third party. That's where we're at now. August Sabanart, Marlon, no MMT for me. Yeah, I'm not a part of the group, man. So I like Joe Firestone. Joe and I do. We've had like 3 or 4 talks now. He's a good guy, and I like him. But part of MMT, no, not so much. Moni G. So what do we want, M99? TY can't screw us. No. He'll love 90-minute chats. How else would you get through shit slave wage office jobs? Oh, that's funny. Just funny. Can you get Joe Firestone's colleagues Ellis Willingham on your show? That would be amazing. I will try. Cayenne Alaric. I'll try. Let's see. Willingham. Here's the thing, guys. What we consider, and this is what I believe to be true, by the way, what we consider to be economics and what we consider to be a financial system and government and all this other stuff, it's contrived. Stuff isn't real. Like, these are laws, these are perceptual different things that we agree and accept and everything else, and you get a lot of people agreeing and accepting, and then you get the government that can pay a military and pay a police force in order to beat the shit out of people to compel them to comply. If the police stop shooting, if the military stop murdering, all of this implodes tomorrow. Governments fall apart because governments, for the most part, are just perceptual items. When people change their perception, the stuff goes away. I say that to say the economic system is the same way. You create this kind of thing of rules and regulations, and you create this idea and this system, this game space that people float around and interact in, and they consider this stuff to be real, as if, you know, this is what human nature is and this is the most natural thing in the world. It is not. It is not. You recognize that you're playing in the game space, and you also recognize that politics is just arguments. And the question becomes, what is the argument that you use to get the thing that you want to accomplish? What I love about Joe is one of the items that he came up with. I love. But you must understand why I love it. I love it because there's no reality to the system anyway. This is stuff that we make up. We're creating this reality of sorts. You can change, you can contort and tweak and come up with some other hegemonic idea of the reality that you want. If that new idea is that, look, we can settle these budgets in a different way, just make your argument. I don't have to believe your argument because I don't believe any of the stuff anyway. Just make your argument. You just need your argument to stick. If your argument sticks and you get the society that you want, fair game. If that argument sticks and to move you closer to where you want to be, fair game. Fair game. But I don't need to believe anything because I don't believe anything in anyway. Stop trying to take me out of my game space, Jamal. Jeez, Coyote Bongwater. Try, man. I said that same progressive said that 3 million votes were flipped, stolen, and Brian Tan said, oh, some random YouTuber said it, so it must be true. Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Fair enough. You aren't taking the piss out of me. Fair enough. Like, whatever news is going on in the world outside of politics, I have no idea what's going on. Chris Bailey, FDR said, they are unanimous in their hatred for me, and I welcome their hatred. That is not how Democrats feel today. They feel they need to get back to this and join the Republican Party. Pick a side. God damn it, Chris Bailey. I love you, Chris Bailey. I love you, Chris Bailey. If you were gay, I would let you grab my ass, and I would be okay with it after a comment like that. That's how much I love that comment. And I am in no means gay. Yes, that's true. That's true. Think about that. Like, you had a party where the guy was completely antagonistic towards these things of these Wall Street, these corporate forces. And he makes this point of saying, look, the societal thing matters more than you guys having cash. And so, yeah, pick a side. I wake up every morning and these guys hate me. If I'm not mistaken, they even try to overthrow FDR at one point. They hate my guts. And I wake up in the morning and I shave and I look in the mirror and says, thank you. I welcome their hatred. Their hatred motivates me to get out in the morning and go after these guys. I love that. I love that. Yes, you're right. Pick a side. Pick a side. Pick a side. Absolutely pick a side. Marla 79. The Democrats are paid to lose. The Washington Generals of politics. I don't think they're paid to lose. I think they want to win. I think they're inept because they can't be who they're supposed to be. Like, think of it from the standpoint of there's an episode of Xena, and in that episode of Xena was having these kind of moral qualms. She was like, oh man, I don't know if I've killed so many people. I don't know if I want to keep killing people in this way. Maybe there's a different way to live. Maybe I need to be more passive and peaceful, etc., etc. And as she walks through India, the woman kind of made this point to her. It is your life path to be who you are in this life. It is your life path to be a warrior. It is your life path to go out and murder and kill and plunder. This is who you're supposed to be in this life. You'll be something different later, but in this life, this is what you're supposed to be. Now, I say that to say, from a cosmic philosophical level, the Democratic Party is supposed to represent the poor, the 99% workers. We have a party for the rich. That party is called the Republican Party. These parties are not supposed to be big tents. These parties are supposed to be very specific to the aims that they're trying to accomplish. In this case, workers, the poor. That's who you're supposed to be. That's your cosmic, from a cosmic level, that's what you're supposed to be, from a philosophical basis. If God himself created the party, God himself would have given you the purpose of being for the workers, the poor, the 99%, and the wretched. They're weak. They're loose. There's these spineless things because ultimately they're trying to serve both masters. They're trying to take massive amounts of cash and lean a little bit to the left. The problem with that is you can't do both. Pick a pony. Pick a pony. Either get into the Republican Party or be who you're supposed to be. And until you can get to that point of being who you're supposed to be, you're going to get these weak, mealy-mouthed, half-ass, fiscal responsibility. These guys, those Democrats that essentially are just Republicans. They're weak because they can't be who they are. That's why they're weak. It's not that they're paid to lose in this way. They want to win. They can't win based on the motto that they've set up and trying to live by. This thing of, I'm going to take massive amounts of cash and do incremental stuff. Incremental. That's bad. Be who you are. Be who you are. When somebody asks you, what do you represent? Be very clear in the things you represent. Do you honestly believe that anybody living on any planet doesn't understand what Bernie Sanders represents? What I mean by that is, if you ask Bernie Sanders one question, Bernie Sanders goes on a tirade. He tells you what he represents every time he opens his mouth. You can't get him to shut up about it. Tom Perez, what do you represent? We represent our values. We represent our values. What does that mean, Tom? We have values. We have values. Tom, I have no idea what that means. Tom doesn't know what that means. Tom understands that he can't have the operative conversation. That operative conversation is about class. And if you're a Democrat and you're not talking about class, then you're not talking about a goddamn thing. You're in the wrong party. You're in the wrong party. Figure out who you are. Figure out who you are. Please, I wish we just had one guy who was like it again, welcoming their hatred besides Trump. I mean, lefty who welcomes their hatred, call me a dreamer. You're not a dreamer. Do you remember in that debate with Sanders and Clinton, and Sanders says something like, the guy from Goldman Sachs thinks I'm dangerous. He says, oh, damn right I'm dangerous. It was something to that particular thing. It's like, wow. That's the guy I want. I want the guy who says, they say I'm dangerous. Damn right I'm dangerous. He's right. He's right. What Sanders is saying, I am dangerous to him. I'm dangerous to him. Yeah. Loose ass. The thing is, Bernie would never be allowed to get to the nomination, but I understand your question. Well, we'll see. Yeah, Bernie did say he was dangerous. Brian Taylor, yeah. Yeah. Bob Ramirez. A few people I disagree with much on what Sanders says. That isn't the problem. No, your problem is the spine. I think your problem is the spine. It's like, does he have a spine to go through with it? And you're a bit hurt and perturbed that he didn't necessarily go with full gusto when he had the opportunity. I understand, man. I don't begrudge anybody for feeling that particular way. Moni G, that was an amazing moment, Jamal. I loved it. I loved it too. I loved it too. I remember watching it and I was like, yes! It was this gut level. Oh, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. It's like hearing a sermon where the preacher says something, the crowd stands to their feet screaming, hallelujah. Yeah, agreed. I heard you mention Tom Perez, Jamal. Came back to say, check Tom Hartman's vid in which he interviewed that creature. I'd never been so many thumbs down on it. That's awesome. That's awesome. I need to check that out. I've never seen so many thumbs down on a video in my life. That's awesome. That's awesome. Diesel D's. Sanders is controlled opposition. No, he is not. I know what Sane Progressive says on that. Look, this is... You guys just don't get U.S. politics. Oh, these guys just don't get USA politics for real. What do you mean, Auger? Explain. What do you mean? Explain. So, Sanders... Look, the reason why I'm skeptical with the control opposition thing is they don't want to have issues with class. You're going to have a controlled opposition say the exact thing that you don't want them talking about? Like, it just doesn't fly. Like, look, if it's controlled opposition in a way where Sanders is not in on it, okay, fair enough. That's just people playing games, and that's people trying to move the pieces around the way they want. Fair enough in that sense. The last conversation that these guys want to have is about class. That's what I mean. That's the last conversation they want to have. Bob Ramirez said, wow, Sanders is playing 4D chess again. No. That's not what I mean. The perspectives are different. So, do you believe that Sanders is functioning on his own accord, meaning his own energies? Yeah, I believe he's functioning on his own energies. Do I believe Sanders' ideas that he wants to accomplish? Yes, I do. Do I believe that the Democrats have plans that they themselves want to accomplish? Yes, I do. This idea of four-dimensional chess is ridiculous. People are playing the games that they want to play based on the things they want to accomplish. That's politics. That's politics. What do I want to accomplish? What do I have at my disposal to get accomplished? What do I need to do? What are the lines I need to toe? What is the perspective I need to take? What are the things that I need to say to give me the political luft to do what I want to do? That's politics. It's not that everybody's playing chess in this way. You think Donald Trump... Well, look, there are things that Trump wants to accomplish. Trump is going to do what he needs to do to get those things accomplished. Democrats want to get things accomplished. Bernie Sanders wants to get things accomplished. Elizabeth Warren wants to get things... Everybody wants to get things accomplished. Everybody takes a particular line in order to get those things accomplished. That's chess. That's politics. That's the way it runs. Integrity doesn't apply. These guys are pushed in a particular direction and they go in a direction that they're pushed. That's politics. These high-minded ideals don't apply. Yeah, these high-minded ideals don't apply. Loose ass. Presidents don't have power. They're just puppets of deep state. They do what they're told. I'm sorry, Brian Tan. You're naive. No, man. I mean, yes and no. This is what I mean. This stuff is more context to it. I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are looking at this stuff as just a flat way. When Teddy Roosevelt went into office, Teddy Roosevelt pulled out a stick. Part of the reason they call that thing the bully pulpit is because of Teddy Roosevelt. And Teddy Roosevelt went after the main business guys who of that day who had monopolies. And Teddy Roosevelt making this point, you are subordinate to government. I don't give a shit how much money you have. You're subordinate to government. At the end of the day, there is a guy with a stick. And government alone asserts the power of being able to beat, shoot, or throw you in a prison cell. I agree with you that your apparatus has been taken over by hostile forces. I completely agree with you that the moneyed interests controls your media and controls your government. Agreed. Flat fact, agreed. No hedge. I've made too many videos saying I agree. from a conceptual point, step back from it for the moment in regards to what is, and go for this idea of what's possible, meaning potential. The power still rests with the governmental apparatus. And that, look, it's dollars or pitchforks. That's where you're left. You have this thing where you're buying off politicians, or you have a huge number of people who make a huge stink about a very specific issue. You get one or the other. Until you get to the point where you instantiate changes into the way your government is arranged so they can't just buy off politicians, that's going to always be your issue. Dollars or pitchforks. It doesn't mean it can't change. It just means that that's the way it is now. At least that's my position. That's my opinion. If a quote-unquote dangerous man like Sanders, after decades of fighting, gets so close when he does and he ends up backing Clinton, should be interpreted as feedback. What did he see? Somebody called somebody shrill. Moni G. What did Moni G say? Man, that's what turned me off of the same progressive. She does seem scorned. I don't dig it. August Cybernet shrill. She's not shrill. She's intense. There's a difference. When has Bernie touted the Russian narrative? I've seen him say on multiple times that we need to concentrate on real issues when asked about Russia. Brian Tan. Yeah, they hit him with this. It's both, right? So he is talking about the Russian narrative. I've heard him make notes about Russia and all this other stuff. I've heard him say stuff. He did not vote for sanctions. He did not vote for sanctions against Russia. Did he tout a political thing? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Bullshit, man. No politician would ever get close to what we actually desire. Unfortunately, we need to temper expectations. I hate some of what Bernie has said regarding Russia, but I love him discussing the vital issues. Bullshit, man. Agreed. Agreed. Agreed, agreed, agreed. He's a human being. Agreed. I absolutely agree. Dawkins resembles that shrill comment. I love the word shrill. Shrill sounds... Yeah, I love the word shrill. I don't know why. There's some words that have a certain connotation to me that I don't know why they have a connotation. Shrill is one of those words. I fucking love that word. Yeah, I need shrill. I need to write that down. I need to call somebody shrill. That's an awesome word, man. I love that word. No, she's not shrill. She's intense. I like it. These things are wavelengths, man. There are going to be some wavelengths that you agree with. There are going to be some that you don't. There will be somebody who watches my channel and say, I don't like the way he delivers the information. Dude, you need to change the way you deliver the information. I don't need to change anything. I am what I am. Stuff is relative to one another. You hit a channel, oh, I like that. Well, it's not good, bad, or anything in between. It's just that you yourself like what that person is putting out. You're on their wavelength. If you feel her to be that way, okay. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I just think she's intense. If a politician is against war, then they will be assassinated. See JFK, RFK. Yeah, dude, you're immensely cynical. Sagan's demon-haunted world should be required reading in every third grade classroom. Shrill of a voice. I know what shrill means. I just think it's funny. Marla 79. Just an example. I was educated in Texas. Oh, poor baby. I'm sorry. And didn't know about the no sound and space thing. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Bernie Sanders never brings up Russia, only responds to questions about it. Yes, Kurt, agreed. Kurt, agreed. Agreed. Now, look, some people would say, well, even him responding about it is too much. I don't like him talking about Russia. I don't like him talking about Russia in a way where that stuff hasn't been validated. But at the same token, he's a politician. They're going to ask him questions about stuff. So I get it. I get it. Sagan is Zen. Howard Zinn should be required reading. Howard Zinn should be required reading. Howard fucking Zinn should be required reading. Ted Cruz is shrill. Ted Cruz is shrill and a lot of other things. Ted Cruz is shrill and a lot of other things. So yeah. Alright. I am going to end this. Bob Romero, maintain low tones, Jamal. Hillary Clinton has spoken. Maintain low tones. That's awesome. Cynicism has no use in a revolution. Otherwise, you'll become as bad as the opposition you're fighting. Brian Tan. Yes. 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 Be clear on your intention and go after it. Now, there's one thing. I mean, you have to believe that you can do something before you can do it. Even if you don't believe you can do it. That's what I believe. You do things, not, it's like I'm doing this not fully believing that it's going to work, but I'm doing it because there is no other solution. Like it's like, what do you do? Just stand there with your hands, wringing your hands, or do you actually do something even if you believe it's not going to work? Depends on what it is. So, all right, guys, I am going to end this. I appreciate you guys showing up today. It's a Sunday. It's just kind of an off day. I was sitting here not doing much, so I decided to do a video. My videos, I know people sometimes complain about the length. The first 15-20 minutes is usually just me doing my thing. Everything else is just me interacting with the audience. I think some people like the audience interaction. I personally do. And I always just figured at the point where I finish my dialogue, people are like, all right, I'm done. Then you're done. You're done. Look at it to the degree that you like it. All right, guys. So I'm heading out. If you guys enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon or Super Cash. And Bernie and us, Jamal, Bernie was genuine as playing part of a gentleman during the entire primary. He was perfect cross between the masses believing in a revolution. I agree. My issue with Bernie Sanders is that Bernie Sanders believed that this revolution is bloodless. I don't think you can be piecemeal. I don't think you can be this kind dandelion of sorts and saying you want a revolution. A revolution is a monstrous thing. And I'm talking about even a political revolution. It is a sea change in the way people do things. And do you believe that they're going to hand over the keys to the way they've been interacting over the course of God knows how long? He's trying to be a gentleman. I don't want him to be a gentleman. I want him to be cutthroat in regards to trying to accomplish his objectives. Because ultimately his objectives are right. He's functioning at the behest of the American public in this way. So yeah, I don't like this. Look, we'll see. Right now, he's been taking this tack of working with Democrats. I think he needs to be attacking Democrats at the same time. To some degree, he has been attacking Democrats. He's been attacking both, even though he's been working with the party in this way. So yes, I do think he's playing this game of trying to balance this thing of, I am going to need to run in the Democratic Party in 2020, and I need to make sure that that party changes. Like, I need to attack that party and the things that I think I need to attack that party on, while at the same time understanding that this will be the platform that I use to run in 2020. So it's a tightrope. So yeah, I agree. It's a tightrope. I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world, but I do think he's being earnest. No, not blood in the streets. I'm saying it in a political way. So, all right, guys. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course you can support through Patreon, and I know I already said. So I'll get out into here. Thanks, guys.